Good evening, everybody. In a weekend where two of the top three failed to win, the other in the top three didn't even play, and all four in the bottom four picked up points. Myself and my good friend Lee are back with episode 11 of the League 2 hour plus FA Cup draw reaction. Now, we'll get mine out of the way. Absolutely boring. Newport away. Been there 3 weeks ago. Horrible place. Ava doesn't want to go back to Wales. Lee, how are you, mate?
I'm all right, mate. As soon as that draw come out for the Gills, I thought, oh, there's not going to be happy with that one.
No, far from it. Just like all them non-league teams, and you just get a team that you went to less than a month ago. Like, I'm sure that Newport fans feel the same. Like, you get a team that's in the same division, it's just dull, and it really, really dull.
Yeah, and I don't think it adds to the attendance on the day because fans don't really want to watch a game they watched like a couple of weeks ago, did they? So
Exactly that. But at least we've got 11 League Two fixtures to get through before we do have a quick look through who got what in League Two in the first round of certainly used to be the greatest knockout competition in the world. But let's have a look at a couple of comments and then we'll get into our feature games. As always, please smash that like button for us and get involved in the comments. Absolutely. 23 already watching, so welcome to each and every single one of you. Finley is in the chat and says, hello, I think he spelt your name wrong, mate, but we know what you mean, mate. I hope you're good. Dom is back in the chat as well and says, evening, gents, proper naff draw for us Northampton. Yeah, it's dull, isn't it? You want something a bit different, somewhere you've not been. Yeah, we'll get to that at the end. Anyway, evening, gents, looking forward to this. DFT Lewis, welcome again, mate. Andy says, poor draw for us Gills fans. And TC Troy says, good evening, lads. And Liam Welby says, hello, Matt and Lee. How are you? Yeah, just really excited about going back to Wales, mate, for the second time in a month. Good evening, lads. Nick Castleton, Newport away. Well, yeah, lots of excitement, I can tell, from Gills fans regarding that plum draw for us. So, Lee, without further ado, do you want to do your first feature game? And it was one you was at, and it took place at Blundell Park, and it finished Grimsby Town 1, Colchester United 2. A goal for Kieran Green for the Mariners put them in front, but a Mika and Bick double made it 3 wins in a week for Colchester in all competitions and lifted a bit of pressure, dare I say, on Mr. Cowley and his brother.
Did, yeah. Like I said, 2-1 win for Colchester. The U's come to frustrate the Mariners with a game plan, and it worked. They played them at Blundell Park last season, did the same thing, a 1-0 win that day, and pretty much did the same this week. And after a good start from Grimsby, they got on the front foot. Obviously showed that intent to go and win the football match, and a great header to opening the scoring. Green after a great cross from the corner, glancing header. And you felt then that Grimsby were going to shift gears and just, they all looked like maybe one winner, but then Colchester got a foothold back into the game, frustrated Grimsby a little bit, stifled the play and slowed it down. And yeah, Grimsby got frustrated with that, and then obviously Colchester got the goal. It was a scrappy goal, a corner again, header at the back post, and it's not cleared and it's ricocheted, and then he just taps it home really. And yeah, it wasn't Beaky. I was confused who it was at first because I think
he got given to Lisby, didn't it? And it looks like Lisby smashes it in. So, but it says that Bick's been given the key touch. I couldn't work out where it was. And there was some confusion on Saturday on different apps. Somewhere you looked, it was Lisby, and some it was Bick.
But if you look at the celebration, it's Lisby that's going away. So I'm still confused. But I've just watched the interview from coach just because I'm still confused. And Bick said he did touch it. So whether he got the last, Lisby touched it and no, it's hit him, I don't know. But yeah, I think it is credited to him, Bick. But like I say, 1-1. And then second half, Colchester, they played some tidy stuff, but Colchester, I think, we come with that game plan to slow things down. Grimsby fans were getting quite frustrated with Colchester going down a little bit too easy, slowing the game down. But they've come to Blundell Park to do that and to stop Grimsby doing what they do best and getting at teams. And yeah, just Grimsby couldn't get into the rhythm second half. And then obviously the goal comes from a punt down from the centre half. Controversial. I'm torn. I think obviously he gets a touch, but the defender, obviously Grimsby fans are going quite wild in the ground because obviously watching it live, you can't see from having that second view. When I was watching it, it did look like it were high foot, but then I've watched it back a few times. It does look like the defender goes into it and like lowers it. So it's one of them that it could have been given both ways for me, but credit to him, he takes it on and yeah, knocks it round the keeper and 2-1. And yeah, Grimsby just couldn't get back into it then. They had one chance right at the end that hit the bar, but other than that, yeah, Colchester just frustrated them. And I think worthy winners on the day. Like I say, if they come with that game plan to stop Grimsby, it worked a treat. And like I say, after the great win last weekend against Chesterfield, and to go to Grimsby and get 3 points, it's massive because obviously Grimsby have been flying high and yeah, putting teams to the sword really with how many goals they've been scoring. So yeah, credit to the Cowleys on a good little couple league game wins, and then obviously beating, I think it was Hughes in the week, wasn't it, in the cup?
Yeah, 1-0 down with 5 minutes to go. They were and turned it round, and Lisby had a huge impact in that game. I think and Vic got the winner as well.
Yeah.
Or the equaliser, yeah. So they've got some good players, certainly in forward areas that cause teams trouble with, sort of pace, athleticism, and direct running. And then if you've got someone like Jack Payne deeper that's going to be able to pick them out, then they certainly should be a lot higher than where they are. But it's a long season. We've said that, and yeah, signs in the last week across 2 competitions that they're starting to get it right now. But like we said before, 2 wins don't make a season, do they? Like 2 defeats don't cost you a season for any Gills fans watching.
Yeah, where I see him potentially being in terms of the league, I need to see a couple more times. Solid defensively, do play some tidy stuff, and they have got a bit of pace in forward areas. But yeah, I'd need to see him a couple more times to make a proper judgment. Obviously, it wasn't the greatest spectacle on Saturday because Colchester just come to stifle what Grimsby are good at, and it worked a treat. So, yeah, so you've got to give credit to them. I think there were 274 travelling up for it. So, yeah, they'll be buzzing and a massive 3 points. I think Grimsby will go again under Artell, cracking manager. I
hope they don't in the next game.
Yeah, you guys at home.
Yeah, we're up there next Saturday.
It's another big fixture, and I think this is the beauty of League Two. I think these fixtures come thick and fast, don't they? In terms of big games, we've had quite a few in the past few weeks where these sort of teams that you see promotion hopefuls are playing each other. So it's good to see, obviously, the matchups and stuff like that.
Yeah, be another good test for us, absolutely. Right, we'll do a few more comments and then we should get to my first feature game of the weekend. Andy Burns asks, how didn't we win? He's a Gills fan. Yeah, not sure, Andy. Obviously, we'll have a quick chat about Gills when we do the Vidi printer in a moment. Aaron, the Grimsby fan, welcome back, mate. Says Ebbsfleet are at home. Jake Hessenthaler plays for them. Yes, he does, mate. Yeah, I didn't see their draw. Like I say, I was so delirious after seeing who Gills got that the rest of it was just a blur. Jonathan's in the chat. Evening, Jonathan, friend of the channel.
Yeah.
Lee will have a few. I thought that said pies. Always got food on the brain on this show, haven't we? But yeah,
to be fair, I'll probably have that as well.
Pies and ties. Can't go wrong, can you? Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure Lee will be off to at least a couple over that weekend once the exact dates for all the fixtures are picked out. Yeah. Kyle Cake Slayer says, evening, gents, and up the Gills. Evening, Kyle. Welcome into the chat. And Jamie is back and says, hi, guys. He's got his own name now, Lee. He's not using his wife's handle, Mrs. Shrevens. Looks like he's been allowed his own YouTube account. So well done on behaving, Jamie, and welcome back. Aaron says Colchester bench hiding the ball and Cowley pretended he didn't know what he's doing. Yeah, we all have a bit of that, don't we? So
yeah.
David Ongley is in the chat as well and says, good evening, gentlemen. And then Dom brings me nicely onto something. Yes, is it retro week? Yes, so Lee is wearing a retro Gills top and
Gills?
Mine.
Wednesdays, you mean?
Wednesday, sorry. It was on the brain. Retro Wednesday top, which is very, very nice. And yes, there's a theme in terms of the one I'm wearing and the three hanging up. Answers on a postcard. If you can name all the teams, this one is fairly straightforward, I believe. But obviously, I appreciate it's a bit more difficult for those in the background. But yeah, if you can tell me what them three are up there and what the connection is, bonus points. We do have these for any latecomers this week as well. They are yellow. It looks white on the screen, but it's just a post-it note because obviously we don't have a sponsor yet, so everything's low budget. But that is pretend to be a yellow card. What else have we got? We've got Benjamin Haig, Northampton at home. Yet another Oldham fan. Absolutely looking forward to the first round tie. DFT Lewis says, disappointed we got a point as we deserve 3, but we lack a 20 goal per season striker. Yeah, we do and we don't. I think I've said this before. You don't need one player to score 20 goals to win League Two. Like, you only have to go back to a couple of seasons. Leighton Orient went up with just 60 odd goals, Stevenage in the same season. They're nice, but they're hard to come by. We're in a great position. It was just one of them days where it just wouldn't go in the back of the net. We could be sitting here talking about Sam Vokes and Seb Palmer Holden both having a double. So just one of them days where Cheltenham dug in, earned their luck.
I think you have to give credit to Cheltenham's keeper as well.
Of course you do as well, yeah. He's made, if you look at the stats, he's made lots of saves, but plenty of them were fairly routine. But what they did really well, mate, was in front. If anything was blocked at source, it was mental. David Ongley on the quiz question is along the right line. So that's part 1 sorted out. Italian is the link. Now you've got to name all the teams. Anyway, back to Dom.
Sampdoria.
Serie A, wearing Sampdoria. Genoa on the left, correct. Yeah. So that's that one. And then we've got to go middle and right. Quite modern shirts. They're not retro. So keep going. We're getting there between us. We'll worry about that in January, mate. Long way to go before then. We've still got plenty of good players, still plenty of games. Injuries and suspensions will dictate that type of thing. So, yeah, that'll be a question for January for every club. 36 in the chat now, which is brilliant. So please, please, please keep hitting that like button. Second feature game of the week, mate, came at Gresty Road, or as it's more commonly called, which I hate, the Mornflake Stadium. Absolutely despise sponsored stadiums, but that is the way football is. It finished Crewe Alexandra 0, Bromley 1. Michael Cheek back on the score sheet in the 52nd minute to pick up a first win in 6. And yeah, he could have scored really early on in this one, looking at the highlights. I think there was an error from James Connolly, the defender, sort of slipped over as he tried to pass it to Dimitri, and Cheek was through on goal, but could only hit it against Tom Booth, who stood up well, in fairness to him, to make a smart stop. In terms of chances for Alex, I think after back-to-back wins, was it? They were pretty blunt in front of goal. I think Connor Thomas nearly got on the end of a cross in the box, but failed to make sufficient contact. And I think it was Bromley again towards the end of the first period who came the closest. Ben Thompson hit one of them sort of them ones we talk about Ronaldo where he hits it through the valve and the ball does all sorts. But Booth did well to get some sort of arm or elbow on it. But yeah, straight after half time, Cheek back amongst the goals, slotting under Booth after a long ball in the box fell to him. I think it might have been Owar Schwumney who got a touch on it, but wasn't sure looking at the angle. And yeah, in fairness to that, mate, I don't know if you watched the highlights of this one. After that, Crewe didn't really offer anything at all as an attacking threat, and it was Bromley who probably could have added more. I think Nick Kabamba was unlucky with a header right at the end. But Crewe, again, up and down. You think they turned a corner and then they go and lose at home to a team that's not won in half a dozen. Bromley suddenly jump up a few spaces again. And for all that run where they've not won games, they've still only lost 2 football matches this season. So we know generally they're hard to beat. They've got goal scorers. Everybody knows their role. Still think they're going to do well.
Yeah, we spoke last weekend about them shipping goals. This weekend they've not conceded and they've won the football match. Obviously, that 1-0 cliche. It's the perfect result, isn't it? If you keep a clean sheet, and then obviously you've got likes of Cheek to put the ball in the net. It's ideal. And like looking at the table now, they sit 10th, prime position. 2 off of the playoffs. Like I said, I think we've spoke about Bromley as being a team to watch out for us in terms of playoff contender. I don't think they can be spoke about as top 3 personally. I think playoffs probably. I'd say playoffs. I think top 3 maybe a little bit too far. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know if you agree or the chat agrees. I just think I worry about them conceding too many goals. I know the short shop this weekend. It's a great result at Crewe because it's always a tough place to go regardless of the form they're in. Yeah. But yeah, playoffs. I think Bromley's target should be this season.
Yeah, I think I had them 8th start of the season, and we said that we think they can trouble them. Yeah, I think top 3 is probably just out of reach at the moment. You never know, do you? So,
Yeah.
Right, back to the quiz question. DFT Lewis says, is Palmer one of them? No, not Palmer. So next, we do it all here, don't we? Food chat, football chat, League 2, FA Cup, quizzes. Don't even charge. Matt GFC, welcome to the chat, mate. 1-1 with Cheltenham again. Oh, well, and well done, Chatham. Yeah, Chatham are in to the first round proper of the FA Cup for the first time in their history, which is great for them. There's a couple of Kent non-league sides in as well. I think Ebbsfleet have got home ties, someone said already. Matt GFC says the white and grey shirt is Bari. Correct.
That's a shout.
3 out of 4. Yeah. Sampdoria, Genoa, Bari. So we're after the middle one. Just seen the FA Cup draw rubbish for Gills, says David Ongley. Yeah, I think that's the general consensus among the Gill fans. Matt says we can beat them. Yeah, we can beat them, so fingers crossed, and then we'll hopefully get a decent draw or another winnable one in round 2, because for any club like us, obviously round 3 is where it gets really, really exciting. But yeah, it's just which Grimsby fan is doing the preview with you on Wednesday? I believe it is Jordan who does the 4th Tier Fever podcast, which is now the League 2 lowdown, Aaron. So yeah, I think it's tomorrow or Wednesday we're recording that, so that will be out Wednesday night. David Ongley says Como. No, not Como. Oh, Ebbsfleet are away at Grimsby. See, that's a good tie, isn't it? Like, as a Grimsby fan, you get a non-league team that you don't play all the time, and obviously as an Ebbsfleet fan, you're thinking brilliant. We're going up to a team that's a couple of divisions above us, yeah.
Yeah, trip to Grimsby is fantastic as a away day. Like so, I was there Saturday, and yeah, I think it's underrated. You've got the Cleethorpes little walk, which you can go and get some fish and chips, partake in that, which is a must when you go to the coast, and then that walk back to Blundell Park is spectacular. You've got the sea to your right, and in the distance, over the houses, you've got proper, and when I say proper, they're a proper set of floodlights. I mean, the Sabutio type floodlights are absolutely fantastic. As a football nostalgic guy, just seeing that was just brilliant. And I've been a couple of times on a night game, and it's even better seeing the lights on. It's absolutely fantastic. So, have you been there, Matt? Have you done Blundell Park before?
I did Grimsby a couple of years ago. Yeah, we were rubbish, unfortunately. The highlight of the day was, and obviously being on a coach governs to where we can go and have a look round. But yeah, fingers crossed if we get there early enough, then we can go and have a look round beforehand if the weather's not atrocious. And
I mean, where the away end's quite handy because you can just scoot down and over the railway bridge and you're literally on the front anyway. Even if you get 5 minutes, it's well worth just checking out, just to see that view, to be fair. And a little task for you, see if you can spot the around the ground sticker placed somewhere in that vicinity.
We'll try and have a look, and we'll try and pop a Gills in the Blood TV one next
Yes.
time. And if we get time, I'll have to get over on Sticker Watch. Up to 40 now in the chat. Brilliant support. Thank you as always. Right, we'll go back to comments, mate, and then we'll do your second game of the weekend. Where have we got to? Greg the Fish is in the chat. Evening, Greg. Oh, yeah. That was the most disappointing username for Lee in the entire series that we've done so far. The other week.
Yeah.
Was hoping we get Chatham in the draw. Yeah, that would have been really cool, to be fair. Middle one, Inter says Dom, no. We'll keep them guesses in, and I'll give a clue, which will probably give it away later in the show if no one's got it. Jonathan says I can see it now. See what? What's that related to, Jonathan? Have we missed something?
Dare we ask what that is?
I said, oh, yeah. Are you watching two shows at once, Jonathan? This is PG here, so we'll swiftly move on. Aaron, the Grimsby fan, thinks that one's possibly a TV game. Yeah, could be. Potential for, dare I say it, someone might think it's potential for an upset. Dom's going to Grimsby on Boxing Day, which would be absolutely freezing. Yeah, that'll be cold. But if the chip shop's open, that'll warm you up. The chip shop, Lee, I saw, got chips and scraps at the weekend. We had the fish and chips and scraps before from just round the corner. It was absolutely insane. Oh, it might be this. This is what Jonathan's talking about. Colchester 2, MK Dons 1 in the FA Cup. Jack Tucker with the winner. Yeah, I did see that one. That did sort of spark my interest, the old Jack Tucker derby. Pinch of Salt is in the chat. Welcome, and says views on Barnet creeping up there. Surprised. Are we surprised, Lee? Is that the right word? We know they've got good players. We've said all season that when they get it right, they get it very right. They're into the playoffs. I think they changed the way they play, which is good management from Dean Brennan. They realised that they couldn't just keep doing what they were doing in the first 3 games because they were getting picked off. So they've adapted. Do we think they've got enough to be top 7? Maybe. But are they too inconsistent? Potentially.
Yeah, obviously they're on a great run at the moment.
I think they're 5 unbeaten, aren't they?
Yeah, which is fantastic. You just addressed that they've changed how they're playing. It's obviously getting them results. Winning mentality breeds confidence, and they've got that momentum from last season, obviously winning a league. So I wouldn't say surprised. I'd just say I think they've just got to take a game at a time and probably see where they are come Christmas time, January, and then I think that's when we start really talking about teams as being in that play. Because we'll look at the league table at the end, and obviously you win a couple of games and you're in that playoff mix. You obviously lose a couple of games and then you can be down the table. I think that's what's beauty about League Two.
Absolutely, yeah, it changes so quickly. And like we said at the top of the show this week, Swindon have probably had the best result in the top 3 and they've not played because Walsall got held. Gills obviously jumped into the top 3 with that late equaliser, but I think Grimsby fell out. And then all the bottom 4 teams have picked up points this week. And a couple of them, like Cheltenham and Crawley, against sides that you'd probably expect them to lose against. So it shows that, I know it's a cliche, there's no easy game. But yeah, it's just, it throws up mental results every week, and that's why we all love it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And it's fantastic. Love the division, why I cover it so much, because it does throw up surprises. And you do get surprises from that National League. We've seen the gaps closing. We've spoke about it before that National League to League Two is now forever. I think it's similar sort of quality because the teams in that division can spend. So when they come into League Two, they're already set. So why not keep winning football matches? Why not?
Absolutely. Right. Do you want to tell us about your second feature game, which took place at the Wham Stadium, I do believe, and it finished Accrington Stanley 0, Newport County 1. We've mentioned that Accrington don't score enough goals, but unfortunately they did this week, but it was in their own net. Isaac Sinclair's 43rd minute OG gave Newport County the points, but that didn't tell the whole story, mate.
No, it wasn't one for the riches watching the highlights. Obviously, that's all we've got to play on. But yeah, it's a massive win for Newport. Yeah. Their last win come Obviously, they won in the week against Cardiff, which was a fantastic win, bragging rights there. But their last win, I think, come back in August 9th. So to win and to win away from home, it's massive against a relegation probably struggler. I mean, we've spoke on these two teams previously that we see them being down there struggling. So yeah, to get a win on the road, I think Newport needed it. Like I say, it was scrappy goal, deflected effort, but you take them. And yeah, I think, like I said, the game for me, watching the highlights, it's not one for the to be talked about.
No, not at all. But like you say, it's daft saying it 2 months into a season, but it's probably as close to what we've seen as being a 6-pointer.
Yeah, you don't want to use that phrase so on, do you?
No, but it might end up being one when we
Yeah.
look at the final reckoning come May. And yeah, huge win and a decent week for Newport, to be fair. Again, cup doesn't mean a lot, but when you've not won for so long, to pick up 2 wins and 2 clean sheets, I believe, as well, in the space of 5 days, will do wonders for David Hughes' side.
Yeah, 100%. We've just said on Barnet winning breeds confidence, so we're interested to see now, can they back it up and get that second win. Yeah, it's 2 teams I definitely see struggling, but like I say, speak about the 6-point cliche. I think it will be one that probably come what end of the season, both teams will probably be looking at, and Accrington will be kicking the sand that they lost it, or Newport be buzzing that they beat them, and it's difference to staying up.
Yeah, because second half, for me, I watched it, the highlights, what we get to find, and again, you know, I'm going to shout it out. ITV, absolutely appalling service again. Oh, it's international week, so football doesn't exist beyond the Championship is frankly disgusting. Give it back to someone that wants to look after it. Give it back to someone that wants to take League One and League Two serious, like they did on Quest. Quest might not be the biggest channel in the world, but what they did was they got a good host in Colin Murray. They had decent guests. I think it was, I always forget his name, Sam, the bald fella, the ex-Oxford striker. Decent pundit at that level. They used to get, I think, the boys from the NTT 20 who know their stuff on there as well. And it felt like it was a programme that really appreciated the bottom 2 divisions, whereas ITV just feels like that League One and League Two are an inconvenience to putting on some crappy repeat film that we've all watched 1,000 times on ITV 15 years ago. And it just needs to be given to someone that actually cares about the lower leagues, which is why people like us and Gabe Sutton and the NTT 20 boys and the boys at the League Two low down and lower league low down for League One. That's why I will champion all of us as much as possible, because we care about League One and League Two, and ITV it's just a money making deal for them, isn't it?
Yeah, and you feel like they've only got that deal because of the Championship and what the money it brings to it. Obviously, that playoff final, it's the richest game in football. It's massive to them. So you feel that they've only got that because of that, and anything other than the Championship, they don't really care. I think it's total disrespect that they don't. I mean, I first found out, I think it was the last international break. I think I spoke to Jonathan about it, because I usually try and catch the highlights on a Monday at some point, obviously for the show, and obviously clicked ITV. I was just obviously searching for it, and I'm like, where is it? And then Jonathan touched on that it's obviously not on because it's international. Or just absolutely dumbfounded.
Yeah, it's like nuts.
There's 2 divisions, 2 exciting divisions, and teams that I feel they miss a trick with it as well, because there's League One and League Two teams that they could showcase and tell the story of them and give a little bit more time on, obviously with the Championship not being played, but also League One, there's still games that are not being played because there's international players playing for them teams, so it's whittled down also. So yeah, it's a little bit disrespectful in my eyes that these teams are not being allowed to show what.
Yeah, it'd be a great opportunity to have an hour and do half hour on each division. Have proper coverage. Maybe I'm not saying you've got to do it every week, but you could get someone to go and actually watch one game from in the ground and give it a proper hour. Whereas like all it is now is just no commentary, and it's like it's just put on the end of the Championship show as an afterthought all the time.
Yeah, and literally they just show goals and just don't really.
There's no analysis anymore.
No.
Come and watch us instead. Like I say, you get Italian football shirt quizzes as well.
Exactly.
It's all good. It's all good. You get a bit of banter. Pie chat, yeah, we do it all. Like I say, 42 of you now watching, which is absolutely brilliant. Like we said before, this can't go anywhere, this show, without you lot. So thank you very much. Right, back to Italian football shirt quiz. David Ongley says Udinese. Sorry, another wrong one. Keep them guesses coming. Dave Hutchinson in the group, all the way from Canada. Welcome to the chat again, mate. I've waited my whole life for Gills to get Man United or Liverpool in the FA Cup. If we can scrape past Newport and hang on for the Prem to be in the hat, maybe 25, 26 is out. Oh, can you imagine? To be fair, if we get United, that'd be a great chance of an upset as well, because United could probably beat us if they play well. But
I'll put this to obviously, because there's fans of different teams in the chat. Who would you say is your dream team to play, to draw against, if you were to get to that third round, home or away?
Let's do it. We'll put it up. Give me 2 seconds and right, I'll do a couple more comments while I type that out. Ryan Jones has put, what do you think of Chris Powell going to assistant with Luton only 2 weeks after joining the Saddlers? Yeah, I did see that one announced today. Noticed a lot of people had gone for the same idea with a gif of the Simpsons, where the fella walks in the bar and straight back out again.
Right.
Yeah, it's frustrating, I get, for Walsall, but I believe it was only an interim deal anyway, though, mate. So, I mean, I'm not being funny. It's a step up a division again, isn't it, for Chris Powell? Another good opportunity for him. So I can understand why he's probably stepped up from League Two to League One. Certainly, if there wasn't if it's on a rolling contract at Walsall and Luton have offered him something more longer term, then it's job security at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. In football, we know what it's like. As soon as you can get sacked the week after or whatever, it's nothing secure either side. So I think that he's got to think about himself.
Thanks for the question, though, Ryan. Andy says, well said about the TV coverage. Yeah, it's like we've said it. We're not going to talk about it again, but yeah, I think it's disgusting. Greg the Fish says they don't do football's grand talk either. So there you go. I mean, and we'd be cheaper as well, wouldn't we, Lee? We'd cover everything. So I'm sure someone from ITV is definitely watching us ramble on for an
hour. We can dream, man.
We can. Neil says Chievo Verona. Nope, another incorrect answer. At some point, you should have named all the teams in Italy, so we'll get to the right answer eventually. Dom says United or City away. David Ongley says he's given up. Sorry, on the quiz. Andy says, I've always thought ITV Sport has been a poor relative to the BBC. Yeah, I tend to watch, especially when it's European Championships and World Cup. I prefer World Cup. Plus, you don't have adverts as well, do you? It's which always annoying. Do you remember years ago when I think it was Everton v Liverpool in an FA Cup tie? And someone pressed the wrong button in extra time, and one of the teams scored, and everyone was watching like a Muller Light advert or something.
I didn't see that, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm sure it was years ago. Everyone was like fuming. It had been 0-0 for like 115 minutes, and they missed the goal because someone pressed the wrong button.
Oh my God, I bet he was sacked.
Oh, you'd be out on your ear, wouldn't you, straight away? Best non-league team in Kent asks, hey, Joe. He follows Faversham, his local club. Yeah, been to Salters Lane, I think it is, a couple of times for pre-season games. Always an enjoyable little trip. Plus, they're sponsored by Shepherd Neame, so you can get a decent drop. We have a winner. Dom has got it. It is Roma. Let me just grab that one. I was a bit naughty because it's an away kit. And this would have been the clue if I'd turned it round. So, yeah, Tammy Abraham on the back. But, yes, well done. We got there between us within the time limit. So, yeah, Sampdoria, Genoa, Roma and Bari. More shirt-related quizzes next week. No, it's not Napoli. Matt, Dom has just got the right answer. Right, let's put this one up. Yeah, let's keep this one going. Keep smashing that like button. We're hovering around 35 to 40 people still. So smash the like button. Please sub to myself and Lee. And who is your dream tie in the FA Cup? What's yours, mate?
Probably Spurs. Either home or away. Just because I used to, obviously I'm a Wednesday fan, but born down there, living down there. Used to go and watch Spurs quite frequently. So yeah, I'd probably say Spurs. But at
Plus
the
the
minute,
ground's outrageously good as well, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know, like Man United for us, because we've never played them in a competitive game, which would be insane. I've always wanted to watch football at Newcastle. That ground just looks absolutely incredible. But I think that might have to be I don't know, nets in the room. It might have to be an overnight stop.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's got our headphones in. We're fine. Right, final feature game before we do Vidi Printer was Shrewsbury Town 2, Cambridge United 0. Now, we did apologise to Jules from the Under the Abbey Stand podcast in our WhatsApp chat this week because we spoke highly of Cambridge last week, didn't we? And said they were low-key having a good season, and then they go and get turned over by a Shrewsbury team that it's fair to say have been woeful all season up until this point. Yeah, funny game for me, mate. Shane Lavery had a couple of chances for Cambridge early on, and it looked like they would go on and boss the first half, but he missed both of them, and that was as good as it got, because after that point, they were really, really poor, which I didn't get, because that's not what you usually get from Neil Harris sides. They're usually hard to beat. I mean, we had him at Gills. We was always accused of not scoring enough and not being expansive enough. So to see him just roll over was a little bit of a shock. Yeah, defensive calamity on the edge of their own box allowed George Lloyd to nip in and score the first, I think, just after 10 minutes. And this one was essentially over after half an hour. 36th minute was when Will Boyle thumped in a header from a Sam Clucas. Yes, he is still a left wing back corner. And yeah, that was it. Second half, they barely showed any highlights. So I'm assuming it was pretty much a non-event. Only chance of note was for Ishmael Kabia, who is now a right wing back, incidentally, who I've seen start up front for Shrewsbury. So it's still a little bit of selection bingo there. But whatever it was that Appleton did at the weekend worked. Yeah, comfortable win for them. And I think lifted them off the bottom, because I think it was either them or Newport were bottom with a minute or so to go until Elliot Nevitt ruined Cheltenham Town's afternoon. But yeah, huge win for Salop, mate, after what's been a really rough start to the season.
Yeah, it's massive. Obviously, Cambridge in good form, and we spoke about them last week. We jinxed them, but as a question arose that I think we asked each other, do we potentially see them as in that playoff picture? Is this a little bit of a question mark? I know it's one game, but I think they'd all expect to go there and turn Shrewsbury over. Obviously, they've been in poor form. Like I say, real chances maybe, and Shrewsbury have capitalised and grabbed a massive 3 points. Like I say, is the question marks of a Cambridge? Have they got this in them that they sort of out of a good run, and then games that you do expect them to win that they lose? I don't know.
Yeah, because we were speaking to Jules in WhatsApp, and he said, like, amongst Cambridge fans, it had not really been talked about because they not really played any sides of note. I suppose the concern then is you play another side that's not of any note at all in terms of any type of form, and they've got beat. So what are their next few fixtures? They've got Bromley at home, and then Cambridge at home, and Notts County away, sorry, before they are Cambridge. Yeah, sorry, Bromley at home, Notts County away before the FA Cup. So, I mean, they're two tricky games now, aren't they?
Yeah.
One that you'd have probably fancied them in a week ago. But we have to be careful. It is one game. They could have just had an off day, and we could be sitting here in a couple of weeks and they've picked up 4 points and they're right back in the mix. But yeah, certainly a result that I don't think anybody saw coming. Right, back to the comments, and then we shall do Vidi Printer before we get on to the goals of the week, player of the week, and then we'll try and do a little bit more FA Cup draw reaction and look through who everybody's got in League Two. Sampdoria always reminds me of David Platt, says David Ongley. David, first overseas shirt that my parents bought me as a 12-year-old back in 1994 was a Sampdoria shirt with Platt 7 on the back. It wasn't any type of official printing. I don't think that was a thing back then. It was just done in a local shop, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, to have a couple of Sampdoria shirts in the collection now is great for me. Matt says, well done to everybody who got the shirts. Questions correct. He also goes on to say, my dad supports Arsenal, so to beat them in the third round would be amazing. Just to face them, I think, would be really fun. Yeah, because again, Emirates, and we've had this chat about modern stadiums not being as, having as much character as the proper football stadiums. Hillsborough's one that I put into that. We've said like Fratton Park, that type. But yeah, it's an unbelievable facility again. So yeah, I wouldn't mind Arsenal home or away. That'd be good fun. Her father didn't like me is in the chat. Welcome, firstly. AC Kiev runner. No, it wasn't, mate. It was Roma, the last one. Andy says dream tie in round 3 would be Newcastle, Liverpool, or Spurs because they are supported by my 3 sons. That's 1 yellow card, 2 yellow card,
Yeah.
3 yellow card. I'm going to go full Graham Poll here because why are they not supporting Gillingham? But yes, I'd take all of them.
I think the question is why 3 different teams?
They could be further apart, could they? It's like
yeah.
one up there, one here, and one right down there as well.
I can accept like three of them supporting, like, say, Newcastle or Spurs, but they're all
3 in London,
teams.
yeah, because they all be local to London. But yeah, that's quite out there. Matt goes on to say, or beating Brighton at the Amex. Been to the Amex to watch an England Lionesses game a few years ago. Really, really nice facility as well. Matt
just
also says,
just on that last point, do you feel that, obviously we were brought up to support, I don't know whether you were, Mike, were you brought up to support Gills, or did you was your dad a Spurs fan?
well, Dad's a Spurs fan, yeah, but he's not a Spurs fan in the sense that he went to loads of games. I think he just sort of followed them from afar. So
why Gills for you?
Closest league football team.
Right, yeah.
So where I was born on a place called the Isle of Sheppey. They've got a very local team that got to the FA Cup first round last season and were on the telly, lost to Walsall for anyone that don't remember. And then when I was little, my mum and dad moved just over the road from there, which is Sittingbourne. So my first game, and I remember it was a game between Sittingbourne and a team called Polytechnics.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you the level. But no, Gills was the closest in terms of league football. So he took me to a game in 1989. I think we won. I couldn't tell you who played or scored. Yeah, then you got things like tickets through the school and stuff like that. I remember being at Gills v Halifax at the end of the 92-93 season, and that was the first time I realised what football meant and what 3 points was, because if we'd lost, we'd have probably got relegated, or we would have got relegated and we'd have probably gone out of business. So that was the first time where I realised that football meant something more than just 22 blokes kicking a football at a net. And then you get a bit older and you start going with your mates, and it snowballed from there. And 1989 becomes 2025, and I've got Ava coming with me every week. And yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. You?
Yeah, just my dad took me when I were, because we were obviously living down south, so it was difficult to get to games. But I've noticed a shift. Obviously, yeah, you've got Ava that's you brought up to support Gills, but I find that it isn't happening as much as what it did back when I was growing up, where you supported your dad's team, sort of thing. Might be just me.
That's social media.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
kids are too busy on. We didn't have iPhones, did we, or iPads or laptops? We just had. You had to make your own entertainment, so you had to give something to do. You had to go out.
Yeah, teletext.
That made it a lot easier. Teletext was like the new age back then, wasn't it? Yeah. All cuddled around Dixons in the freezing cold, waiting for page 5. Yeah, because some arsehole team's about 8-1 up, and then you wait for ages. Page 4, oh, we're losing 1-0. Brilliant.
We used to ring when we were on holiday. If Wednesday were playing, used to like ring my grandma to get results. Say if they played on a night game or something. Yeah. And then my grandma was like, "Oh, you bloody rung me for?" Like, yeah.
I don't want to talk to you, then. Or if you was on holiday, you had to wait for the first edition of the Sun or the Mirror. Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't say them names, but some rag over it to come out and in like a black and white copy to get the results a day or two later. You couldn't find out instantly because there was no internet or anything like proper old days. Like, and we spoke about it. We thought club call and all that type of thing. Yeah, the game's definitely changed. Some of it for the better, but certainly some of it not so much. Right, video printer, because we are at 45 minutes here and we've got a lot to get through. We had Bristol Rovers 0, MK Dons 4. So that's 7 goals and 6 points in a week for Paul Warren's men. Goals from Alfie Kilgore, own goal after 8 minutes, and then 3 in the final 7 from Lawrence Maguire, Alex Gilby, and Rushan Hepburn Murphy sealed a huge win for Dons as they jumped into the playoff places. There was a good win for Chesterfield against Salford City to the tune of 2-0. Another own goal in this one, Oliver Turton, and then Ronan Darcy scored with 8 minutes to play to seal the points. Crawley and Walsall played out a 1-1 draw. Ryan Loft put the home side in front from a Harry McCurdy cross, and then Connor Barrett equalised. And I think McCurdy missed a penalty in that game at 0-0 as well. Fleetwood saw off Harrogate by the odd goal in 5. Goals from Will Davies, Elliot Bonds and Ryan Graydon. Cancelled out strikes in between from Warren Burrell and Jack Muldoon for the Sulphurites. Gills equalised in the 95th minute after having 30 shots at goal against the Cheltenham Town side that hung on for a point, having taken the lead against the run of play through Sam Sherrin. Tranmere's plunge towards the bottom places continues as they lost 2-0 at home to Barnet. Goals from Lee and Love and Adam Senior, and Oldham v Barrow was probably the worst pick for a live game at 5:30. Yeah, not much to say about that one. Clean sheet for each, another point on the board. Who, my friend, was your player of the week this weekend?
Let's get on. So my player of the week was 2 seconds, mate. You've caught me. So my player of the week, Joe Day, Cheltenham. Sorry, mate.
Thanks. More reminders.
Made 9 saves and kept what could have been an heavy defeat against the Gills. So yeah, usually I wouldn't pick a keeper, but I had 30 shots and obviously 9 saves. He's kept it. Well, potentially they could have won if it weren't for that Gills late equaliser. And it'd have been back-to-back wins. But yeah, you've got to give him massive credit for that.
Yeah, he made a cut. To be fair, his best saves were probably really early on. He made a really good stop from Seb Palmer Holden after about 15 seconds. And then there was a couple that he managed to get in the way, all from headers and corners and some punches. But Cheltenham, to be fair, their defensive line was spot on in terms of blocking everything at source, like 10 on target, 10 off target, 10 blocked. 2 of the off target were the bar twice as well, which was really frustrating. I know Cheltenham they hit the post in the first half after a Shadogi mistake. But yeah, I came out the ground thinking, how the hell have we not won that comfortably? I think if we'd scored the first goal, we'd have won 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like it was that relentless. But yeah, you've got to give Steve Cottrell first and foremost, and Joe Day and all the Cheltenham players credit, because this is a team that we spoke about 2 weeks ago. It lost 7-1. Yeah. Absolutely imploded. So to have picked up 4 points from 2 games and be, literally seconds away from back-to-back clean sheets is testament to all of them. As much as it pains me to say that, my player of the weekend was someone who played for Colchester for the 2nd week in a row, and it was Mika and Bick, who I might have read somewhere became the youngest player to score a brace for Colchester in the league. 4 goals for the season and assists now. Scored against us in the week as well in the Virtu Trophy after coming off the bench. Played 88 minutes, 44 touches. He had 4 shots on target, another effort blocked. First goal was really dubious, like we've said earlier. We really can't work out why it's been given to him, but it has. 1 key pass and, of course, 2 goals that turned the game around to make it back-to-back wins for the first time this season in the league for Danny Cowley's men. Yeah, looks a real prospect. Him and Kyrese Lisby are probably 2 of the most exciting youngsters in the division at the moment for me.
Yeah, he's a big old lad as well, and he's got pace, leads the line really well, and I think he'll just go from strength to strength with confidence of goals. Strikers, it breeds confidence, doesn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. And like we say, we want to see more from Colchester. We've said that already. But they've had a good week. It takes the heat off Danny Cowley. And it gives them something to build on. We'll have a look at the league table in a minute to see where there are and how much difference it's made. Right, a couple more comments, and then we shall quickly do our top 3 goals. That's why I caught you out, didn't I? Because I did it the other way around.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Because I've got them in no order on my phone.
Yeah, so have I, but I've not had it on paper this week. I've kept it on my phone and I've scrolled down too far, so I do apologise, mate. We're ever so professional on here, aren't we? It's so good. David Ongley, back to the Italian football shirts team, said he had Ints on an Inter Milan shirt as a kid. Yeah, cool. He was a proper player, wasn't it? Troy's got an international football related question. Says, I know it's League Two, Al, but do you think Northern Ireland can beat the Germans tonight? No, in one word for me, unfortunately. Lee?
No, no,
No.
no.
There we go.
No.
Simple question, simple answer. Matt says that was the Kent Winston League. Lee, yes, it was. Sittingbourne versus Polytechnics in the Kent
Wow.
Winston League. And I do remember they had a goalkeeper called Andy Huff. I don't know if Matt remembers him as well. Yeah, I remember going to Sittingbourne as a kid, and they used to play like, I remember watching them play like an Arsenal 11, a West Ham 11, a Spurs 11 in pre-season. But that was when 11s were like a mixture of first teamers and kids. And I think Tony Adams played at like this, you know, like, not being funny, like Tin Pot ground, like back in the day. And yeah, Tony Adams has rocked up. It was mental. It was like a sort of 7 or 8 year old. It was absolutely crazy to be seeing players like that playing that in my hometown.
That
Matt
never
says,
happened these days.
no, not at all now. You see 11 and you think, right, no bothering, that's just youth team.
Yeah.
Matt's first season was 88, 89, and what season that we got relegated to Division 4. So I was lucky then because I went in the April and we won a game. So we can't have won many that season. Pinch of Salt says, you know when someone knows nothing about being a supporter when you say you support the Gills and they ask which Premiership team do you support as well? Yeah, that drives me insane. Like, it's like, again, it comes back to this thing like ITV where there is football outside of the Premier League and the Championship. And it's it's when they go, yeah, but what proper team? You just...
Yeah, I know.
It's so annoying. Like, you've probably seen both sides of it because obviously you watch Sheffield Wednesday in the Premier League and the Championship, but they've gone into League One. So you've probably heard that side of it when they've been in League One. It is highly annoying we're still a professional football team. It's still a proper football team. We just don't have such a big ground or win as many football matches as, you know, Arsenal, Liverpool and all that type of thing. Right. Do you want us to do your top 3 goals now, Lee?
Yeah, another difficult week, I feel, to pick. One of my goals wasn't a great finish, but I just think the importance of a goal. So my third goal, Connor Barrett, left-footed edge of the box to a point for the Saddlers. Decent finish. And then my second, the left field one, Nevitt for the Gills, a massive goal, 95th minute. I just think it stops that little rut that you're on as well. So I think for me the importance of the goal,
and
which
for him
is why
as well, first goal of the season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's why I've put him in there because obviously questions I think for you at this point of last season were similar. So I think that point is massive. I know it was against Cheltenham, but it stops that little rut. And then the winner, Gilby, MK Dons, neat little free kick, well worked, slots him in and he takes it well, finishes well. Obviously that were MK Dons third, for a massive win for them.
2 out of 3. The same. Third place, I had Alex Gilby for MK Dons. Yeah, this is as much about the pass and the quick thinking of Liam Kelly, isn't it, as much as the finish?
Yeah.
Because he hasn't got loads to do, Gilby, once he's played in. And I love Liam Kelly. I think he's a great footballer at the level. So, yeah, that was my third place. Second place, and a little side story to this. Have you seen Connor Barrett's TikTok? The video, he tried the same thing in the first half and managed to kick the ball with his standing foot and went over and got a load of grief off the Crawley fans. And then obviously tried it second half and ended up scoring the equaliser. So he's seen the funny side, yeah. But really good touch to get it out of his feet, dip him from the right-hand side and then smack one into the far corner. Kept Walsall top of the league. My winner was Mika and Bick. I know there was question marks over whether it was a high foot or not. I know Jordan in our WhatsApp chat was very unhappy as a Grimsby fan. But I thought the still that he sent us didn't help because it really looked like the Grimsby player had his head down and was stooping. So I'd like to see it back again. The thing is, if we're saying, I want to look at it, I want to zoom in, I want to slow it down, then there's enough doubt for me to say it's fine, the goal. And what I'd ask Grimsby fans is if that was the other way round and say that's Jay's Cabbier running through on goal and he pinches it off Jack Tucker who's got his head down, are Grimsby fans saying it's a foul? I would likely say they're not. They'd probably say it's the right decision. So for me, it was fine, the goal. It's a super little finish as well.
Yeah.
Like we say, there was a lot of contention around the first goal. There was a little bit around this one, but once he's through on goal and shows that composure, it's definitely his goal. Yeah. So my winner. So it was a double for Mika and Meek this week for me. Goal of the week and player of the week. But yeah, some good performances. But yeah, it was more about, like you said, I think important goals and maybe team goals rather than absolute blockbusters, which we've come to used to be seeing over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and sometimes it's going to be the weeks where you get wonder strikes and then you feel like you have to put them in. It's difficult where you could do with them sometimes. Weeks where, like this week, where goals haven't been few and far between, like sort of the worldies. But yeah, I think sometimes it's the importance of goals that, for me, I think need to be put in there as well. We don't just want to pick them worldies, do we?
No, sometimes you have to look a little bit deeper, don't you, as well? So it was, and it's nice to see different people. It felt like Omari Patrick was in the top 3 every week at the start of the season. And, but yeah, I think his form's dropped off, and that's probably no coincidence that Tranmere's form's dropped off as well. But have we missed talking about Andy Crosby? Is Andy Crosby under pressure? And I said in my pre-season predictions that I'd like to see how Tranmere react when they have a run of bad form, because he came in last season under interim basis or caretaker after Adkins was sacked. Done really well. I think they only lost 2 out of the last 13 games. And I think that built up expectation. But I did say at the start of the season, I think we've mentioned it, how will they react when there is a poor run of form? Well, I think there's 7 without a win now. And they have, it's like we know what we're doing. If we bring this up onto the screen, they've dropped to 19th.
Yeah.
Now, I know they've got a game in hand, but even if they win that only tags them on to the back end of Barrow. Well, a win would take them above them or above a couple. Yeah, above them and Harrogate. That's worrying form, isn't it, for Tranmere Rovers? Only 2 wins all season. The Joe Ironside thing we mentioned a few weeks ago, it seems to be that his signing has just seen a complete collapse in form. Now, I'm not saying it's Ironside's fault, but at what point do we talk about Tranmere Rovers manager being under pressure? Because we spoke about Andy Crosby, Danny Cowley last week. There's not a lot of difference in terms of points.
No, when you're on that sort of poor form, especially with teams getting results like Newport County and Shrewsbury, no one wants to drop out of the Football League. So I think sometimes you have to be concerned with that sort of run, because it can put you straight in the mess. And as much as a winning mentality can be good, a losing mentality, it's sometimes hard to shake, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I know that all too well from last season. I think I saw a horrible stat that says we've not won a match in October since October of 2023 when we won at Swindon. So can't wait for the last 2 games in a month to get out of the way, and then we might start picking up again. But yeah, I think it's something to keep an eye on, certainly, because they're just in danger now of being dragged into that bottom 5, who we said are in real danger of being in a relegation battle all season, didn't we? In terms of Cheltenham, Newport, Shrewsbury, Crawley and Accrington. That's 24th up to 20th at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, they don't want to get dragged into it. Big couple of games coming up, and I think the pressure. I think pressure's always on when you're on that sort of bad run as well, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, and we've all been there, so we know the reasons why and that type of thing. And sometimes it's stuff out of your control, injury, suspensions, and that type of thing. But at the same time, all clubs have them. Yeah, so we've mentioned the bottom 5. Cheltenham, I think, were 20th when 1-0 up, but because of Elliot Nevitt, dropped back to the foot of the table despite a good result in Kent. We've mentioned the bottom 5, Tranmere 19th. We then go up from 18th. It goes Barrow, Harrogate, Colchester, Oldham, Bristol Rovers, Notts County. That completes the bottom half of the table. But again, the caveat is Notts County have a game in hand after their fixture against Swindon was postponed this weekend due to international call-up. So a win for Notts County in their game in hand would propel them right back up on the verge of the playoffs. In terms of the top half, Fleetwood in 12th with 18 points. Cambridge and Bromley just above them on the same. You've then got a pair of teams in Salford City and Crewe on 19. Barnet jump into the playoffs after their win at Prenton Park with 20 points. The rest of the playoffs is made up of Chesterfield, Grimsby, and MK Dons, who have started to move after a rough spell. And ironically, as frustrating as Gillingham's result was, a point was enough to take us back into the automatic promotion spaces. So we're third on 22 points. Swindon had a good weekend without playing on 24, and Walsall still sit atop the table with 26 points. But Swindon would jump them and go to the summit if they win their game in hand whenever that is played. Got a few more comments. Luca is in the chat and says, "Hi, yellow card for Luca. It's really late."
Yeah, it's late.
Hey Joe, what you know says kids seem to like players over clubs in a lot of cases. Support loads of I think that's become a thing as well now, hasn't it? Like you see them with Ronaldo shirts or Messi shirts or I don't know, Declan Rice or Salah, which is fine. I mean, I get it if they're youngsters and they've not really picked a team. I've got no issue with it, but I think when you get to a certain age, you have to nail your colours to the mast, so to speak, don't you?
Yeah. As a football fan, I think you want a connection as well to your club. Obviously, my team, Sheffield Wednesday, got that connection. As much as it pains me at the minute, I'm not going for obvious reasons. But
yeah, of course,
it's always going to be my club, and that connection were brought through with my dad. Walking into Hillsborough for the first time, it was just magical. Obviously, we were a Premier League club at that point, but yeah, it don't matter what league we drop to or play at, it'll be the same with you. You'll support them because it's your club and you wear the badge with pride, and I think it's memories that you make as well with loved ones, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. You see, it's almost like having two families, isn't it? You've got your family at home, your proper family, and then you've got a football family. You see the same.
Yeah.
Certainly, if you've got a season ticket, obviously your situation's different at the moment, and I totally understand that. But yeah, you sit with the same people every home game. So every other week, you see the same people that are right behind you, right in front of you, next to you. You talk to the same people as you walk into the ground. You see people park in the same spaces. You walk to the stadium with them. You see the same staff that serve you a burger or a pie or a cup of tea or a bottle of water or whatever your drink is or a beer. It's it's sometimes it is more than football, as much as we like to see our team win, of course. And again, just to go back to your club and your point, I really hope it gets sorted as soon as possible, because it'd be not more of a travesty, because that's the wrong word, because everybody's football club means something to them regardless of the size. But yeah, we cannot let a football club the size of Sheffield Wednesday die and go out of business. That just would be borderline criminal for me. And I really hope that it gets sorted out sooner rather than later. It's people's livelihoods at the end of the day, mate.
Yeah, and I think owners need to. The stubbornness, obviously, with Chan Series, he thinks everything revolves around him, but it don't. The football club's been there long before him, and the football club will be long there after him as well, because we'll fight in tooth and nail to keep the football club alive. It won't happen. I firmly believe that. We just need to stick together. And at the minute, there's a little bit of divide, which is understandable, but I think everyone wants the same solution. And I think that will become the bigger, too big for him to fight in the end of the day, because it's a massive football club.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, I've only been to Hillsborough once to watch Gills a couple of years ago, and that was in League One. And I mean, even then, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. It's a proper place, and like I say, it's one of them proper grounds, like we've said. Yeah. It's four stands. There are slight gaps. It's a unique design, Hillsborough, isn't it? It's almost like they've got like a sort of a bit of a roof that joins the stands, but you can see out still in each corner. But the noise stays in. It's a phenomenal place to watch football. It's a proper football club with proper football fans like yourself and plenty of others. And yeah, it simply can't be allowed to just drift away. Like any club can't be allowed. It doesn't matter whether it's you, whether it's been Southend in the last few years, Morecambe, Bury, Scunthorpe that you've covered. There's so many. And it's heartbreaking, just as football fans. And at times like that, it's when colours and team allegiance goes out the window, because we're all football fans at the end of the day, and it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, I covered Scunthorpe, and obviously you put yourself in their shoes and try and think what they're feeling, but then it's weird because now I'm feeling what they're feeling, type thing. So you never know what's around the corner. You're one bad owner away from potentially
Disaster, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed it changes, like I say. Right, a couple of stories from fans about watching their football clubs. Nick, who we know lives in Sussex now, so I was born in Gillingham. My dad took to my first match at 6. I will always support Gills, even if I move further away than Sussex. Yeah, and that's what it's all about. Like, once it gets hold of you, it never leaves you, does it, mate? Like you said, one day you hope you're back in Hillsborough watching your football club, whether that's as a championship club in its current guise that's been sold by him and goes to an owner that cares, or whether it has to be the other end of the spectrum, like we've seen with Bury, where there's a Phoenix club rises or a Wimbledon. If it's got Sheffield Wednesday's badge on it, you'll be there supporting it and you know, covering it and showing it the love that it deserves.
Yeah, 100%. I just feel at the moment I'd just have double standards if I step foot in that ground. Because I've preached on social medias my views of what I feel about it, and people go because of their views and what they believe in. It's totally acceptable, but I won't be going back to Hillsborough while he's in charge of my football club. It's simple. And I always think about that day that I do step foot back in there. And fingers crossed it's sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. Right, Andy says, here we go, story. I was born in Rochester and started following the Gills in the 60s. My children were born in Windsor and Sussex. All three have been to Gillingham games. So what do we think? VAR? Rescind 1 yellow?
Yeah, get take 1
2
off.
yellows? We're feeling generous. We'll rescind 2 yellows, so you're not being sent off tonight. There we go, because we're in a good mood.
Yeah.
Dom sums up the Oldham Barrow game. It happened. Yep, I think that was fairly obvious.
Lovely sunset, though, must say.
There you go then. Sunset, you can't argue with a good sunset. David Hutchinson says, anyone remember when they used to do fundraisers by walking around the pitch with an outstretched bucket and people threw coins in? Probably stopped before someone's eye was taken out. Yeah, health and safety wasn't such a thing in the 80s and 90s, was it? I do remember them type of things. Yeah, you're not really allowed to do that type of thing now. Matt says lots of youngsters wearing Paris Saint-Germain shirts in Medway. Yeah, again, it's that's back to the player rather than the team, isn't it? And Mbappe, Messi, Neymar a few years ago, probably Ibrahimovic. It's players following a player, fans following a player rather than following a team. Last couple of comments before we blow full time. Going back to the first games, my first 3 games, 2-0 nil draws against Port Vale and Bury and a 6-0 thumping against Spurs. Set me up nicely supporting Oldham. And that's the thing. We know as lower league fans that we see more losses than wins generally, but that's what makes you appreciate it much more when you do have the good times, isn't it? And Oldham are a brilliant example of being at the very top of the game. We have to remember they were one of the first 24 teams, I think it was back then, in the Premier League. They then went to almost the abyss, and you covered them brilliantly. And now they're on the way up again, back in the football league. I went Boundary Park end of August to go off on another tangent. Loved the side of the ground where they've got the old style sort of lettering on an old brick wall.
Yeah.
And they've got that modern Joe Royal stand. And it all looks a bit of a mix and match. I get that when you're in the ground. But I took a photo of that bit outside. It's like an old school ticket office.
Yeah.
It just reminded me of Priestfield in the 90s. Like, very, very simple. But just something that you always remember your football club being. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed that.
But Oldham and Swindon, obviously, I always go back to, obviously, but they were both, well, Premiership, what they were called back then. And I just remember my Merlin sticker books that, obviously, the Oldham badge, the Swindon badge, they're like proper football as I were growing up. It was just, I mean, it was just fantastic, absolutely brilliant. And them sticker books were absolutely fantastic as well. But we could go on hours talking about.
It is only a month, I think, until the EFL sticker book is launched. So if there is anyone up and down the country who wants to do it,
It's like we
Myself
did that
and
on
Lee.
purpose, didn't we?
Myself and Lee will be reverting to being big children again and trying to collect and doing swap needs. And it's going to be brilliant. So, yes, cannot wait for that. Something else that cost me loads of money.
I apologise. No, I don't apologise. I'm going to just be a massive gig. I'm 40.
Oh, I can't wait. I love it.
No.
Cannot wait. It'd be so good to see Gillingham in a sticker album. And what I hope, again,
shiny. It's got to have shiny badges. Please.
I hope it's not like an ITV sticker album where they have all the teams and all the squads in the championship, and then you get like a picture of the ground and one badge for the League One and League Two. I will be absolutely raging, and I might have to find out where Panini's head office is if that is the case. DFT Lewis is basically along the lines of what you said, Lee. Nevitt's goal is decent, but because of what it means, it is a lot better. Yeah, it's a good hit as well. Because I said on the Matchday Live or on the review show, there's a tendency to lash at that because you're desperate because it's in the last minute. It's literally the last kick. I don't even think they took centre. So to show the composure, to get your head over the ball and find the bottom corner was staggering. Bit of international breaking news. Wales 1, Belgium 0. Rondon, I think he means Rodon, Matt. I think Rondon used to play for
I'm just about to say
West Brom, didn't he?
Yeah.
I'm not sure he's Welsh, but fair play. If they've got him up front, they've done well there because he's not even a Welsh. And he also says, cool, yeah, I remember him back in the day. Oh, hang about. We've got live video printer here. Northern Ireland 1, Germany 0. Nope's been disallowed. Wales are level. De Bruyne.
Oh, Jeff Stelling, eat your heart out.
Doing well here, aren't we? 2-1 Belgium. Oh, that's gone horribly wrong.
What's that in space of 5 minutes?
Jesus Christ. I'm not sure. 8. Yeah, they only kicked. Yeah, that's gone horribly wrong. And there is a great panini shop in Malta.
Yes, there is, yeah.
Road trip.
Yeah. I keep forgetting about that. I'd love to have a look what's it's in that. I've seen a few like travel vlogs and they go like they don't go in it, but like go past it, and I'd be interested.
Oh yeah, he's just sort of expanded on what he said. Ros says it's in Valletta, a great panini sticker shop. I'm gonna have to Google that tonight because like you,
got to be on TikTok. Got to be on TikTok, on it.
I'll be on there or Instagram, surely. Right. Yeah. Nearly at 75 minutes. A lot of injury time tonight, but we've had plenty to get through with FA Cup and all that type of thing. We are going to have to just leave it there, though. So,
it's more of a nostalgic show.
We'll try and think of a shirt-related quiz again for next week. But as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks to everybody that's commented or just watched or hit that like button. If you've not yet done so, please consider hitting the subscribe button on this channel. This show comes out every Monday. There's obviously Gillingham content throughout the week as well. Go and do the same on Lee's channel if you've not done it, because I can't say it enough. He is the best groundhopper out there. Like, phenomenal content, not just in terms of the game, but getting the whole day and what a fan is being about for a good 6 hours rather than just from kick-off to full time. And he covers clubs brilliantly. And he's a nice bloke as well. I said that on Twitter the other day. He's all right. And fingers crossed, mate, that you got enough votes for next month's FCA Awards, where you'll be all suited and booted with your beautiful wife at Elland Road, I believe, this time.
It is. People will be glad to know that I can't stop badgering them now for votes.
It's done. That's it. It's done. Right. Cracking show, fellas, says DFT Lewis. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you being in the chat. Have a great evening. Thank you both again from Canada, from David. Appreciate you watching, mate, from all the way across the other side of the world. And Matt has just gone big and says Grimsby 1, Gillingham 4 as a score prediction. Wow. On that note, he's Lee. I'm Matt. This is the League 2 Hour, and we shall see you again next Monday.